Good evening, everyone. The Battle of Gettysburg was fought July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, and ended in a Union victory with the repulse of Pickett's charge on Cemetery Ridge, thus ending Robert E. Lee's second Confederate invasion of the North. As a result of the battle, 50,000 were killed, wounded, captured, or missing. Pennsylvania Governor Andrew Curtin was appalled at the crude burials of Union dead strewn about the battlefield. He called for a special cemetery for the Union dead and agreed that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania would provide funds to establish the cemetery and help finance reburials of an estimated 3,600 bodies. He appointed local lawyer David Wills as a state agent to arrange for the purchase of land on Cemetery Hill in Gettysburg and to oversee improvements of the property. Governors of other northern states pledged their support, and agents from New York, Ohio, Indiana, Connecticut, and Massachusetts arrived in Gettysburg to offer assistance and direction for the burial of their native sons. November 19th, 1863 was set as the date for the cemetery dedication, and celebrated orator Edward Everett was tapped as the keynote speaker. President Lincoln was invited by Wills, almost as an afterthought, to offer a few appropriate remarks. Mr. Everett spoke for about 2 hours, and then Lincoln rose. Afterwards, Everett wrote to Lincoln, "I should be glad if I could flatter myself that I came as near to the central idea of the occasion in 2 hours as you did in 2 minutes."
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met here on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of it as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they have thus far so nobly carried on. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out this evening to listen to the address. To learn more, feel free to join Gene Horton tonight at 7 p.m. here at Center Reach as he presents his program, Abraham Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address. The president is available for pictures if anyone is interested. Thank you again. Have a great evening.